Hello everybody, I am the Black Sigma, or you could just call me Eric, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for All. I don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed. I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. It's not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all. As for why I opened the case, even I don't know. Looks like this really wasn't a very important point. This wastefulness is such a familiar feeling by now that it's almost comforting. Anyway, I'll just go ahead and start the cross-examination. Using anyway to change the topic. A convenient escape for a weak man. Oh, easy on me, Miles. Talk about convenient escapes for weak men, you disappeared for a fucking year. Got him. Anyway, I don't remember too clearly because you were a bit dazed. Sure. So, you opened the guitar case, then? Yes, well, maybe. Why did you open the guitar case? Corrida's dead body was right there in front of you. Wouldn't think that you would... The first thing you would do is... I would think the first thing you would do would be call for help, not open a guitar case. As the witnesses said multiple times, when she found the dead body, she was dazed. Maybe I was curious to know if the bright red guitar was alright or not. I thought maybe the criminal took it. Why would she care about the bright red guitar? But getting back on topic... not a big deal. Was it really empty? I was just wondering if, maybe, when you opened the case, the guitar was still inside. How long have you been a lawyer, Mr. Wright? Have a little professionalism. I've been a lawyer for about a year, actually. It was... When was the first case? It was September 2015? And then it passed through to 2016? Or did it start September 2016 and only went through to December? That... Because one of those would mean a whole lot of those cases were very close together. I'm pretty sure that the first case happened in September. I think. Oh well, it was like a year, maybe two. The bright red guitar was found at the studio. These trials would be over in half the time if you would just pay attention. Yes, pay more attention, Mr. Wright. Sorry. You don't even know? Is that because you were shocked and dazed? Yeah, probably it. I'm not going to get anywhere by pressing. I have to do a contradiction. Weapon hidden somewhere in the court record. Don't remember too clearly because you were dazed. You must have opened the guitar case after you knocked the vase over. That you did. However... Why would your fingerprints not be on it? Objection! There is no way you were the one who opened the guitar case. Why would you say that? It's elementary, my dear Andrews. because the only fingerprints on this guitar case are those of the victim. Ah! What is it, Miss Andrews? You shouldn't assume that I must have left prints just because I touched the case. What do you mean? What if I were to tell you that I was wearing gloves at the time? Gloves? But why would you be wearing gloves at the time? It was the night of the award ceremony, so of course I dressed up for the occasion. Yes, now I remember. I'm almost sure I was wearing a pair of thin gloves. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, it seems the witness was wearing gloves at the scene of the crime. Well, that's fucking weird, ain't it, Judge? I mean, that's strange. You were wearing gloves? Why is that strange? Do you have something that would prove I was not wearing gloves at the time?
Take that!
I have your proof right here, this wine glass. The wine glass? You left your fingerprints very clearly on this wine glass. Ah! Even if you took your gloves off when you poured yourself this glass of juice, wouldn't you think it was just a little strange that you put your gloves back on just to open the guitar case? Ah! Good thing I have a spare pair of glasses. Order, order, order. Looks like you hit the nail on the head this time. What do you mean? I believe that guitar case plays a very important role here. But it's just an empty case. I wonder if it was really empty, though. But the guitar, the bright red guitar, was at the studio. Phoenix, drop all of your presumptions. Just because it's a guitar case doesn't mean it can't hold other things. What was in the guitar case was not the bright red guitar. You don't mean it was a bright white guitar? Wait, that's not right either, is it? I admit it would be unnatural for someone to do that. So the witness was not wearing gloves despite the fact that on the case... Your Honor, this is obviously the defense's usual misdirection tactic at work. Steer the court towards an unrelated topic and lull us into his misguided... No, Your Honor. Please recall that Ms. Andrews had testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case, which means that the case was closed when the crime took place. However, it was wide open in this photo of the crime scene. I am sure this guitar case has some relation to the murder. If you are so sure, right, then I'm sure you can somehow substantiate your outrageous claim, correct? Please enlighten us as to why that guitar case had anything to do with the murder. Can you do that, Mr. Wright? Well, let's suppose for a second that the bright red guitar was not the only thing that could have been in the case. The bright red guitar not being the only thing? You don't mean to suggest that a bright black guitar would... So you intend to push your theory that the case was not empty? Is that it, right? I wouldn't say something I didn't intend to prove. Deflate that head of yours, you haven't proven anything yet. Now then, let's have it. What was inside this case at the time of the murder? Edgeworth? You're really gonna hate me for this one. And why would something like that be inside a guitar case, let alone this one? Why, Mr. Wright, why? Well, no, not the report not the report itself, the suicide note mentioned in the report. what was inside the case at the time of the murder? No, that'd be really stupid. Immensely stupid. This can't be right. This is absurd on every level. However, everything else I can roll out. Of course my badge wasn't there, of course the Magatama wasn't there, a photo from Maya wasn't there, the press conference ticket wasn't there, the radio transceiver wasn't there, Lotta's camera wasn't there, this magazine clipping and the hotel guide map sure as hell weren't there, the case can't have been inside itself, the photo of the murder can't have been there, the Jammin' Ninja's button was on the Jammin' Ninja's chest. The suicide reports and suicide notes obviously weren't in there. Juan's autopsy report sure as hell wouldn't have been in there, he wasn't dead yet. The knife wouldn't have been in that case, it would have been, you know, sticking into the body. And Lotta's photo wouldn't have been in there. That leaves just one piece of evidence. It is immensely stupid, but physically possible that Juan Corrida carries tomato juice in his guitar case. Well, that ain't it. Okay. Let's try and think about this. Okay. Since it's apparently straight up the physical evidence, Lotta's photo can't have been there. That was on her camera. Old bag had it. The knife, Andrews would have had that on her. Autopsy report didn't exist. These reports wouldn't make sense. Jammin' Ninja's button would have been on his costume. Photo of the crime scene wouldn't exist. He didn't keep tomato juice in his guitar case. The guitar case bears Corrida's fingerprints. Gatewater Hotel map wouldn't make sense. The article from the tabloid we got from Powers. Lotta's camera, no, Old Bag had it. This was on Powers because Mr. DeKiller was planning on giving it to us. Press conference ticket we got from Powers, the photo we got from Maya. Nothing makes sense. Yeah, it's a poster of the Nickel Samurai. Map of the... Hang on. Andrews was in that room. And at some point, at least, was not wearing gloves. And hang on, brain. Brain, she wasn't wearing gloves, but then she was, because we presume this is her leaving the crime scene. And, you know, framing Matt for the murder and everything. She wasn't wearing gloves when she had that juice. Was wearing gloves at the time of the murder. She had to have put on Matt's costume after going into Corrida's room. Right? And in that case... But no, that still doesn't make sense. Because, the Corrida would have had to have left his case. He would have left his guitar behind to put something else in his case. Why? My best guess is that the nickel samurai costume would explain Andrews's costume change, but there's no reason that Corrida would have that in his guitar case. I don't get it, but it's the only other option I can think of that would have even a small chance. No, why? It's a picture of the inside the guitar case was the nickel samurai, the hero's costume. What the absolute fuck, right? Mr. Wright, explain. Even the player of the game is beyond confused right now. Right, are you saying the witness opened the guitar case to take out a costume? What insane point would there be to doing something like that? To wear the costume, put it on to hide her identity so she could make her escape. Okay, why was it in Corrida's guitar case to begin with? I refuse to accept your theory. Do you have anything to support such a preposterous idea? Outside the door was Lotta. She managed to get the shot of the nickel samurai leaving the room. Order. Looks like we've wandered into quite another mess again, haven't we? No, Mia, don't praise me for this. The real murderer was in the costume. Wait 1 second, Your Honor. The nickel samurai costume would have been Mr. Matt on guards. Why would something of the defendant's be in the victim's room? That's what I've been saying, Edgeworth. And inside the guitar case of all places. True. That is a little baffling. Actually, it's a lot baffling. What the fuck, right? The court would like to hear your thoughts. What was this nickel samurai costume doing inside the guitar case? It was... I mean, spare costumes are a thing, but let's be honest, it was stolen? But why? Stolen? Maybe the thief wanted to interfere with the post-ceremony stage show? And so, if he didn't have his costume, Mr. On Guard would be forced to go naked. Maybe you should be stripped naked and run out for making a mockery of this court. Oh, you'd like to see me naked, wouldn't you, Edgeworth? Also, excuse me? Mr. Matt On Guard did not take his costume off after the award ceremony. He even testified that he took a nap while still wearing the costume. Is this not correct? Yeah, he did say that. Oh, that's what I thought. Let's try that again. What's your reasoning? It was a spare, Your Honor. What? Then are you saying that on the night of the murder there were 2 Nickel Samurai costumes at the Gatewater Hotel? Yep. And how do you explain the one that was in the guitar case? It would mean that the victim himself brought this spare to the ceremony on purpose. Why? The victim, Mr. Corrida, was the Jammin' Ninja. Why would he secretly bring the Nickel Samurai's spare costume with him? What could be the reason behind such a peculiar act? And therein lies the sticking point. Oh my fucking god. Matt On Guard didn't know about the press conference that was meant to happen after the stage show. Even his manager, Ms. Andrews here, claims she didn't know much about it and it was the PR team's idea. Mr. Corrida was going to go to that press conference as the Nickel Samurai to confess probably something stupid to slander On Guard's name. Why? What are you mumbling to yourself about now? Have you just been rambling all this time without any sense of inner monologue? Huh? Yes. Yes, I have. Mr. Wright, explain. Why did he have the spare costume? Yeah. This is what I think. What is this? On the night of the murder, after the stage show, the Nickel Samurai was going to hold a special press conference. A press conference? Yes, the Nickel Samurai was supposed to confess something at this conference. I heard about this as well. For once, you're not making something up, right? But what struck me as strange was that Mr. On Guard himself said he had no idea he was supposed to be holding a press conference that night. But how can that be? The way I see it, that can mean only one thing. The conference was set up by none other than the victim, Mr. Juan Corrida himself. The victim. Yep. The spare Nickel Samurai costume was prepared for that very conference. Mr. Corrida was gonna hold a press conference as the Nickel Samurai. He was going to dress up as the Nickel Samurai and hold a conference? But why would the victim do such a thing? That's something I don't quite know yet. However, what I am concerned with right now is what he intended to reveal at that conference. The Nickel Samurai was going to confess to something, and by confess, I'd wager he was going to reveal something about himself. which means that Juan Corrida, posing as the Nickel Samurai, was going to speak about Matt on guard. Yes, I guess that is what it would mean. But if that's the case, that's not a confession, that's public disclosure. Ms. Andrews, I can see why you're pros at what you do. Pardon me? Yes, just as you say. The press conference was set up by Juan. And you knew? Ms. Andrews, please offer us an explanation for this. I was the one he asked to help set it up. And the person who prepared the second costume for him, that was also me. You? Juan had bet everything on the German ninja this year, and if he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought anyway. He was going to ruin him, huh? Looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. What? And do you know what this secret of Mr. On Guard's is, Ms. Andrews? That's something only Juan knew. I don't know what it is. Ah, I see. I've probably been coming off quite suspicious to everyone. But that's to be expected. I've been trying to protect Matt after all. Protect Mr. On Guard. And yet again, another strange bit of truth comes to light, it seems. Ms. Andrews, if you could, please tell us the truth about your behavior in the next episode. Bye.